You are now listening to The Box Out with Kahlil Thomas and Jason Kahlil on the One Podcast Network. Let's get it.
From NJ to BK in the world, this is The Box Out here on the One Podcast Network. My name is Kahlil Thomas in New Jersey. Woo! Joining me in a few minutes from Brooklyn, New York will be Jason Kahlil. And let's start off right away. We got some breaking news here. And that breaking news is we have a new show that's coming on the network. I know I mentioned this in the springtime. I had to kind of feel this out a little bit and see if it was possible, see if it was doable. And I realized, F it, let's do it. The Resistance, political podcast, left-leaning, if you're liberal-leaning, left this way, right, whether way you're watching. Starting in September here on One Podcast Network. It's going to be me, some guests in the political spectrum. And the title says it all, The Resistance. We're resisting against what's happening in this country, and we need some more voices. So starting in September, I'm not going to give a date. I'm just kind of work some things out. It will be coming in September. Do this in addition to basketball, in addition to sports in general. I'm a huge comedy fan. I'm a huge movie guy. And I'm also a huge political nerd. So this show will be really good, too, to go with everything else down this network that we have offering to you, the viewer. Hi, how are you? So The Resistance, that is starting in September right here on the Podcast Network. More details to come. Start date, a day of the week. We're trying to figure that out. Time, all that stuff. So The Resistance starting in September here on the One Podcast Network. Thank you very much for that presentation. And back to our show. And our opening tip tonight, Luka Doncic. 3 years, $165 million contract extension with the Lakers. He's going to be with the Lakers for the foreseeable future. Here's why this contract is so important. It actually sets up Luka in the grand scheme of things to get a lot of money later. It is a 3-year deal. However, like most deals in the NBA, it is a 2+1 deal. The +1 being it is a player option. Luka can choose to opt out after year 2 and sign a supermax deal worth excess of $460 million, give or take, somewhere like that. So Luka Doncic is set for the Lakers for at least the next 2 years. He's definitely going to probably re-sign and go back there for the supermax when we get to that point. Essentially making up all the money that he would lose, that he lost in being traded from Dallas to LA. This deal with the Lakers, the extension, and the subsequent extension that you're going to see in a couple of years, this has just made Luka Doncic the face of the Lakers, right? For the last few years, since LeBron's come over to the Lakers and he, maneuvered to get AD to come from New Orleans, they won their Fugazi championship in the bubble. However, it has been LeBron's team since he's been here. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what the narrative is. I don't care what people say. The Lakers have been LeBron James's team since he came over. I think the Lakers, in trading for Luka Doncic, and no matter what your opinion is on the trade, it was shady, it was sketchy. I'm pretty sure that any other team in the NBA would have given Dallas a lot more than what Rob Pelinka and the Lakers gave to Dallas. However, that withstanding, I think JJ Redick, probably less JJ Redick, Pelinka, Jeannie Buss, and now the upcoming future owner of the Lakers, Mark Walton, I think they sat back and said, you know what? We have a generational talent right now in Luka Doncic. Not even really in this prime of his career, right? We haven't hit prime Luka yet, which is a scary thought to think that we have not hit prime Luka, but we have not hit prime Luka Doncic as of yet. Then we have LeBron. going into year 85 of his career. Right, at some point, LeBron's going to hang it up. LeBron's going to leave LA. LeBron's going to go and either go chase a championship or follow where his son goes or whatever the case may be. But LeBron's not going to be playing much longer. He's not on a Tom Brady plan. This extension that Luka Doncic signed essentially tells everyone in the league, hey, this is Luka's team. All right, we're making a transition away from LeBron and we're giving it to Luka. Right? The Marcus Smart signing, while not majorly consequential in the grand scheme of things, Luka Doncic pushed to get Marcus Smart on the team, knowing that defense was kind of lacking, and Marcus Smart, not a great defensive year last year. His defensive rating was not great. But it gives you a body, gives you a guard, and it gives you someone who can kind of play that pestering defense that you miss. You let Dorian Finney-Smith go, and Dorian Finney-Smith was that guy that was giving you that kind of pestering defense, along with hitting the occasional three when you needed it. But that was a Luka Doncic thing. Like, hey, we should really get Marcus Smart. So we look at this deal here on the Luka side. Now look on the other side with the LeBron side. LeBron opted into his option years, player option, $52 million. Has been very, very quiet. According to sources, he did congratulate Luka on his contract. So that's take that for what it's worth. He did congratulate him. But it seems as if LeBron isn't completely happy with the way things are going in LA right now. And I think I mentioned on our show last Sunday, it almost seems as if LeBron, there's a level of sour grapes to this, because for the first time in LeBron's career, let's really let's start in Cleveland, go to Miami, go back to Cleveland, right? For the first time in LeBron's career, it seems as if LeBron is not the go-to for the president of basketball operations, for the general manager. Right? They're not going to LeBron and saying, hey, what do you think, LeBron? Hey, come in. Okay. For the first time in his career, he kind of seems as if he's second fiddle. He's the second guy, right? He's not the guy. He's right under the guy. He's still a generational talent. He's for his age. And as much as I, dislike some of the moves LeBron's made in his career decision, he is still that dude right now. So we can't take that from him, but it does seem like he's a little salty with the whole situation. As I bring in Jason Corner from Brooklyn, New York. Jay, what's going on, bro?
Not much. How's everything?
Good. So I'm starting the show talking about Luka Doncic's extension.
Slim Shady.
And then his subsequent Supermax after 2 years is up. I'm saying this is his team now. Are we on agreement? This is Luka's team, no matter.
Oh yeah, it's Luka's Showtime Lakers going forward, and he's saying all the right things. And I think new management definitely clearly signed on Luka. Jeannie, I'm pretty sure she signed off a while ago, and now everything going forward is all about Luka, which is it's the right thing to do, because LeBron's entering year 23. Like, you really can't put the franchise on him anymore. So I think in Luka's hands, keeping Luka happy, players would like to play with him, as we saw in Dallas, as even we saw with LeBron, and kind of rejuvenate him a little bit last season. So going forward, him and the Lakers are in good hands.
Yeah, I was saying in the beginning that the extension itself was pretty big for Luka, because he's going to make a lot of money later. It's a 3-year deal, but it's a 2+1, so he's going to be able to opt out after the second year and pretty much make the money back that he loses leaving Dallas.
Right.
I also talked about how the Marcus Smart signing was kind of his idea. He wanted Marcus Smart in the team.
I didn't get that.
Really?
I didn't understand. No, I mean, I understand why he made that move. Like, now he's recruiting us. Are we running the play by LeBron, or are we just like bypassing LeBron and we're gonna get who I want?
See, I was under the impression that, according to what I've read, that Luka really pushed for Marcus Smart because they need more defense. And, Marcus is defensive rating wasn't great last year. I think he definitely fell off from what Marcus Smart was, and he was never really an all-star. But for what he was, he fell off. But this seemed like a Luka move. Luka was like, "Oh, we need some help. Like, let's get Marcus." And it seems like LeBron, for the first time in his career, is not that guy that the team is going to and say, "Hey, LeBron, what do you think about this?" And it seems like he knows it and is kind of pissed off about it.
I don't know why he's pissed off. I mean, he's like a super vet right now. I mean, at this point, he's supposed to just chill. I think this will imprompt him, though, to start a retirement tour. I think he's going to want that admiration from the fans and from the league. I think next season is his last season, and he's going to definitely announce the retirement tour before the season begins. But he understands it's a youth movement. He's not running the organization anymore. He's not the face of the organization. He's got to fall in line. He's got to fall in line.
So, Luka could opt out after 2028, sign a new deal for 35% of the salary cap, which projects to be 5 years and $417 million. So,
he will. He's opting out.
So we're looking at a possible $80 million player at the end of that contract, which just to me sounds insane that, we got an $80 million a year player at the NBA at this point.
But to say that, out of the current players in the league, who would you say, if any of them deserved it, who would you say would be your starting five of the 80 million club?
I mean, obviously Luka.
Mm-hmm.
Would you put Jason Tatum on there?
I would not put Jason Tatum on there.
SGA.
I'll put SGA.
Obviously, we're talking down the line, not right now.
Right? Yeah, not right now.
Okay. Halliburton.
I wouldn't put him on it, only because we got to see how he rebounds from the Achilles.
Anthony Edwards.
I'll put Ant.
Bruce is in the chat just going off on SGA and Halliburton.
I wouldn't put nobody in the Clippers because by the time we get to that, they're all going to be like way longer in the tooth than they need to be.
Yeah, besides those names that we kind of just threw around, I don't really see any players that are in that range. I think SGA for what he brings and what he's worth to the Oklahoma City brand.
I would probably add Wemby to that.
Oh, Wemby. I should get Wemby.
But I feel like it wouldn't be the Spurs to offer that money. It'll be the Lakers. Because that's what the Lakers do.
What, the Spurs, would the Spurs kind of Scientology you into getting less money? Say it's for the good of the organization, take less money, and they kind of go, okay. And they take whatever less money they get. Kind of like the Patriots did with Brady for 20 years. So it's going to be interesting to see kind of how this season goes. LeBron's been hella quiet, which is not like LeBron to be this quiet ever.
So, I thought it was very cryptic that he did send out workout videos, postings the other day. I was like, this is what we're doing in year 23?
He's doing a Ben Simmons video drop. That's cool. That's what we want. Speaking of real quick, I was reading an Athletic article today, and they talked about Ben Simmons being on the Knicks' radar. And I was eating my lunch, and I'm reading the story, which is a bad idea when you read a story about the Knicks eating food. And it popped up like, oh, Ben Simmons is being discussed in Knicks circles, and I almost choked because I'm like, so we could possibly have a lineup of Ben Simmons, Mitchell Robinson, and Josh Hart. All three who don't want to shoot the ball. Who's scoring with 3 out of 5 guys on the floor like that?
Well, but those three definitely going to be hard. Or maybe some alley-oops to Mitch. But, I mean, I can see him 10 minutes a game, 5 minutes a game, put him on Donovan Mitchell, put him on. Now I'm thinking about, you really don't need him. You don't need him in the East. If you make it to the finals, you can use his his defensive prowess. That's it.
Well,
But if you get him on a veteran minimum, a really low
that's
price,
the key. That's the key. It would. I mean, they don't have money for anything. They have money for a vet minimum,
yep,
and a rookie deal. That's what they got money for. So it have to be a vet minimum. I'm just afraid of when do you play them, because you have 9 guys essentially, right? You have your 5. You got going in my head now. You got Brunson, you got Hart, you got OG, you got Mikal, who got his extension. Congratulations, Mikal Bridges. You got Mitch, you got Cat.
Old boy from France. That was on the 76ers. We got
Deuce.
You got Deuce.
And 9th would be
what's his name? What's his name? Clarkson.
Yeah, Clarkson. So that's your 9. More than likely, Brown is playing 9, which is already one more guy than Tibbs would play anyway. So my question becomes: who do you take minutes from to play a Ben Simmons? And do you play Ben at the 1 and shift Brunson to the 2? Do you play Ben at the center and have him be a point center? Like, I feel like bringing him in would create a lot of questions, and you take it minutes, which, take minutes from Brunson and take minutes from Mitch and take minutes from cool, but it doesn't seem like there's no place for him to play.
Yeah. Unless you wait it out and you get somebody late in the season on a buyout market.
I mean, that's the only choice at this point, unless they get, unless Tyler Kolek steps up in training camp and becomes, the backup. Right now, you don't have a backup point guard. You don't want Deuce McBride is not a point guard. You want him off the ball, so you have to go find yourself a minimum point guard that can spell Brunson for 7 minutes, 8 minutes.
And this is where I can see the logic of them trying to get Ben Simmons. It's just, do you really want that enigma in your locker room?
Listen, Ben Simmons too soft mentally for New York. He ain't wrong. He is not wrong.
I mean,
as my dryer goes off. He
was too soft for Philly too. But you're right.
I love we're talking about Ben Simmons, and that's when the buzzer to my dryer goes off, like telling us no. The buzzer's just going off saying no, don't do that. Don't do that. All right, so moving on to the NBA, and we had to talk about the shit happening in the league with the objects,
the dildo gate.
So, if you don't know, and you probably do, there have been 3 separate incidents during WNBA games of sex toys being thrown on the court, dildos, and one man's pretty much going to jail. One almost hit Sophie Cunningham, which a lot of players in the league probably like, because Sophie Cunningham has become, Viper Randy Orton in the last month and a half. I don't know how to kind of move into this topic, because it seems like a weird thing to say. Hey, right, you're throwing dildos on the court. Like, where do we go here from here? Because I'm really confused now.
How do we get there? Because because we both done media, been in many arenas, and they go through our bags. I feel like if they would have saw something like that, they might have had a couple of questions.
Well, it was in LA. One's in LA. One's in Atlanta. Sorry, no. Phoenix, New York, Atlanta, and I think LA. So I think it's been 4, actually. I think it's been 4. They're saying 3. I think it's been 4, because I remember Atlanta had it too.
Right.
LA, and they're saying Phoenix, New York. So 4 instances, not 3. I think this has something to do. I think it's twofold. I think this is definitely a Caitlin Clark thing. Not saying she's making it happen, but I'm saying this is pushed back to Caitlin Clark and her fans and blah, blah, blah. I think this is also about the collective bargaining agreement that's being negotiated now. And there's been so much speculation about what the players deserve as opposed to what they bring in. And you think this has something to do with either one of those 2 things, or one or the other, or?
It could, or it could be someone being a rogue agent here, just want to start something with the league. Like, hey, maybe they're trying to say, maybe the players stop being like dicks or the management or whatever. Who knows what the hidden agenda is here? But I think it is a black eye for the league to see this continuously to keep happening. But I believe they caught somebody at one arena recently, right?
Yeah, they got caught. I'm gonna bring it out real quick because I was reading it earlier today too. Yep, police in College Park arrested Delbert Carver. Counts of disorderly conduct, public indecency, indecent exposure, and criminal trespass. I feel like not felonies, probably all misdemeanors, so he's probably not getting locked up.
Definitely getting banned from arenas.
I really do think that he's looking at a ban all throughout Atlanta. You can't go to Hawks games, go to Dream games.
You probably can't get to Magic City.
No, Magic City, like, well, we're not about that life here, bro. We're not about that. We do that inside, not outside. We do that inside. So it'd be interesting to kind of see how this goes and what the idea was. These guys probably won't talk and like go into detail about.
Doesn't make it worse that it was a guy that got caught doing it rather than a female.
Oh yeah. And when I first saw it happen in Atlanta, I'm like, that's a dude. That's a dude. Like all these instances are guys. There was no doubt in my mind. I'm like, yeah, no females going there. Like, I'm gonna throw a dildo on the court. No, these are dudes doing it, and these feel like outkick dudes and barstool guys who are doing this shit. Not like fans of the league who are rebelling against. No, these are guys who jerk off to Clay Travis every morning. Outkick.
You know, it's funny you mention that because, like, one thing I do when I go to a Liberty games, especially since Westchester, you feel like you're intimate with the crowd. So I always look at the crowd that's at these games. It's very progressive, men and women, girl dads for sure. More so women hanging out with other females that want to go taking a good game. You rarely see the douche guy there. I've rarely seen that. You'll see a guy wear a WNBA jersey now, and to be very proud and very adamant about that. But you rarely see the high school jock or the real douche guy at these games. So I was a little alarmed when I started seeing these stuff happening at these at the games.
Bruce makes a good point. At least make it black or white, not neon.
Nah. Yeah, like seriously, what the hell?
that would make more sense. Obviously, the white one a little smaller, but just put it out there. Yeah, it's just interesting. We live in interesting times in women's athletics because there's so many more eyes on it, women's sports, but then you still got the douchey guys who are still making their appearance. And I have a friend who does not watch, has no idea anything about women's basketball. I have a few. But has hella comments about it. I'm like, you don't have a leg to stand down when you talk about women's basketball because you haven't watched it. And his argument was Caitlin Clark's being maliciously assaulted. I'm like, she's getting fouled hard, which the Pistons did to Jordan for 4 years, right? Everyone did it. So to me, the more conversation is not the greatest thing because you got a lot of people who have no idea what the fuck they're talking about, trying to make a comment about what they think they're talking about. Even though I watched basketball for years, I'm like, yeah, but you're looking at it from this little micro view. They look at it macro for years. Like we've been watching WNBA since the start. So we have reference points for this shit, and a lot of people don't who think they do. So I'm just curious to see how it works out. WNBA also had the trade deadline today. Not a lot of big deals. I think the biggest deal, and it just happened by chance, Dejanay Carter going to Minnesota from Dallas.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
So Minnesota lost Luka Doncic. She's down for at least a couple of weeks. I believe it was knee or ankle. I can't remember which one. But with Carrington, you're not getting offense, which you're going to lose from missing Collier. But her defense in her first game with Minnesota, she has some crazy steals. How big was that trade to kind of cover up for Nafisa Collier being out for a couple of weeks?
It definitely covers it up very well. And it shows you that the Lynx are all in. Like they're going for the championship this season, and they feel like right now they're the best team in the league. So they're just covering the bases and made a smart last-minute acquisition at the trade deadline.
So Seattle made a trade as well. They pick up Brittany Sykes. They got more offense. I think Seattle, and I did not have Seattle in my head thinking about them being competitive this year. I think they're
right there.
Yeah,
they're right there.
I feel like their team, maybe not like you said, not like Minnesota that's going all in, but they're like, we want to make some noise in the playoffs and not just show up in the playoffs. So I think this could be a very interesting thing for Seattle too. A Seattle versus Minnesota, first, second round matchup where you have Dejounte Carrington playing against Brittany Sykes. I'm curious to see how that matchup goes because they could cancel each other out.
Yeah, it's very interesting in top the WNBA standings because I feel like same way about the Dream. I didn't see the Dream coming out being strong this season, but now I think there'll be a tough out for the Liberty if they got to match up in the second round. So it'd be interesting to see how it all plays out. And then we can't forget Phoenix. Phoenix is having a little resurgence themselves. So the top of the league is looking all right.
And then today at the deadline, Connecticut, they get Aaliyah Edwards, who was a top 10 pick last year. From Washington, they get J.C. Sheldon and the rights to a 2026 first round draft pick swap. I love pick swaps because it makes it very interesting to me. So obviously Connecticut is not in any type of conversation for playoffs. However,
I think they're rebuilding for they moved to Boston. That's what's about.
I'm glad. That's what we hear. That's what we hear. Because I'm going to go right there. So apparently, Connecticut's being sold to, and I'm going to get the name right because there's a battle going on that I didn't know about. Once again, reading while I'm eating, I saw this. The former minority owner of the Celtics, who was not selected to buy the Celtics outright, he was making a play to buy the Sun and bring to Boston. Apparently, the Mohegan tribe did not agree to that deal. So that deal that was reported is not official. The WNBA Board of Governors did not approve the deal. The Connecticut governor, Ned Lamont, is saying, hold on, we want the team to stay here. And he actually has a group that's prepared to make an offer to the Mohegan tribe to keep the team in Connecticut and play at Hartford at the renovated XL Center, which is a different name. It's like a bank name now. They're renovating it now. You have the UConn connection. So you have UConn women basketball big there, keep them there, and then you have them go to Boston where they've played 2 games in the last couple of years that's sold out. The WNBA has not made a decision. They haven't said, where does this end? Because I kind of believe that I think the Mohegan tribe tapped out last year. I think they said, well, we can't do this anymore. And I think the WNBA said, everybody else is playing in NBA arenas.
Yep.
You're playing in the Mohegan Sun Arena in Uncasville, Connecticut. Either you move to Hartford or you got to go to Boston. Where do you think this lands in the end?
Well, now that government's getting involved, I think this is going to land more so at Hartford than Boston.
You think so?
I think so. I think so. And to me, the more sense would be go to Boston. But I think you think about everything Connecticut's lost. The Whalers. I mean, between that and then, like you said, this is UConn. The most logical step after UConn would be to have a WNBA franchise in Connecticut. So I think I think more so Hartford than Boston. Even though financially, Boston would be a bigger game. Especially considering Philadelphia's getting a WNBA team, right?
Yeah.
So like Philly, New York, Boston, I'm gonna run that play again. But I like the Philly, New York, Connecticut right now, as it stands.
So I'm trying to. There's the number I was looking at. Oh, there you go. The Boston group was willing to pay $325 million for the franchise,
which is probably not worth that.
And then another $100 million into building their own facility. So they wouldn't even share a facility with the Celtics. They have their own facility, kind of like what
the Liberty
Mercury has. The Liberty has, and the Mercury have. The Mercury has already with Phoenix, separate from the Suns.
Yep.
The Connecticut, Mark Lazary used to own or minority own the Bucks. He's making a Connecticut pitch. So you have Luka, who used to own the Celtics, kind of pushed out, trying to bring them in Boston, and then you have Lazary used to own the Bucks, trying to keep them in Connecticut. So you have 2 people with money. So that I don't think money's a problem. It's not like A-Rod trying to collect money from 8 different people, 8 banks.
Right.
You got 2 people with money. I think the money wins. I think if the Boston-based group is saying we'll give you $325 plus 100, why not go with them? Connecticut's not offering that.
Are we sure?
I haven't said. I've been looking this up all day. I have not seen anything about a practice facility or anything from the Connecticut group. I've only seen the Boston group stuff, and this is I'm reading Connecticut papers because Boston's obviously gonna be skewed, obviously. So I'm reading Connecticut stuff, and they've said nothing about putting any extra money or even how much they're putting up. Boston's like, we're putting 325 up, which is insane.
That's insane. I would love to see them go to Boston and rebrand themselves and call them the Boston Becky Lynches. I would love it. I would so love that.
By the way, I know we're gonna talk about this later. Becky Lynch's new song, "Ass."
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
It's not a Def
promo. Her promo on Monday was great. The song,
good.
Not so much.
Yeah, it wasn't Def Rebel, so I can't shut on Def Rebel for this one, but it was ass. Anyway, right now the Lynx, without Collier, 25-5 in the league. Liberty, 19-10. You have the Dream Mercury right behind at 18-11. The Liberty, they won 2 in a row. Stewie's still out.
Still embarrassing to lose that game to Connecticut.
Yeah,
the first game.
Was that a trap game? Was that one of the games where like we always hear about teams facing shitty teams? You're like, oh, we got them on the schedule. Oh, who gives a shit? We'll blow them out, and then they just lost that game.
Yep, I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
It stinks. Golden State Valkyries 14-15, still staying above board, even with Caleb Thornton being out for the season. The Aces 7th right now, 16-14. I think you've said it. I think Bruce has said it. I think I've been waiting for them to kind of pick it up, and it's just still this the entire season. You don't know what you get from them night to night.
Still a scary team. Come if they make the playoffs, they will be a tough out.
So before you say that, I'm glad you said that because I want to go back a little bit. So I was under the impression that the Aces experienced, they're gonna be good. And then, oh my God, computer. Oh, here it goes. Okay, I'm gonna go back to prior scores because there was a game that they just had that I was like, Jesus. Here we go. Minnesota 111, Vegas 58. That was last Saturday.
I'm glad you went to that score because that was Was it the worst loss in WNBA history?
Yes. It was.
But they came back and won the next game. I still have faith.
They played Golden State. They had to win. It's an expansion team.
But can it be a combination of they've been up and down and the Lynx are just that good?
I don't know. You got beat by damn near 50. Over 50 points. Like it's I don't know you're that bad or I don't know. I saw that score and I was like, Jesus Christ.
I was like, who played? Who played?
Did Becky Hammond rest the entire team and just bring up the U.S. select team from the Olympics?
I know she was hot in that press conference.
Oh, you already know she was going off. And in that locker room, she probably was like, everybody get the hell out of my face. Because you see her face, she got that in her where she's like, everybody get the fuck away from me. So that's where we are in the WNBA. Obviously, we keep our eyes on what's going on in the league, and playoff time is coming, so we'll see what happens.
Yep.
Our main topic tonight, and obviously it's the summer, nothing starting up yet, and this is when we go into our random ass topics that we do every summer. And I texted you last night, and I was like, I want to talk about 90s basketball movies because we don't have any. We don't have any movies as of late basketball that revolves around basketball. So I have a list of 90s basketball movies, notable ones, not every single one were like great, but I'm going to start with 91. Heaven is a Playground, which I saw on TV once.
That's a good one. Okay.
Obviously, White Man Can't Jump. They redid that. It was garbage. Final Shot, the Hank Gather story. That shit made me cry.
That was tough. That was a tough watch.
That was tough watch. Blue Chips. We talked about Blue Chips a couple summers ago.
Yep.
Hoop Dreams, where they follow those two kids.
Hoop Dreams are good. One thing about Blue Chips, you can't remember. Blue Chips kind of started NIL without starting NIL.
Hey, Happy. What did he say when the car was going away from Happy? What did he say? We owe it to them. We owe it to them. That was the best scene. Above the Rim. That's my shit.
I love that
Tupac,
movie.
Marlon Wayans, Leon, who still pops up at every BET Awards like he's a big star.
Doesn't look like he aged a bit. He still look the same. Every movie you see him in.
Here's my issue with Leon. Right, it's kind of my issue with Chris Tucker. They show up every year at the BET Awards, and I'm like, what are y'all doing? Yeah, I got something to plug or something to like advertise or something to. I just pop up and just chill.
Those are guys that need to teach financial literacy courses because they make one movie every so often and they just chill.
No, well, Leon did the Temptations movie,
movie,
and the 5 Heartbeats,
and the 5. Yep.
So he got paid for the 5 Heartbeats, like from '93.
Yep.
The Air Up There with Kevin Bacon. That was my shit too.
Kevin Bacon. I forgot about that one. Yeah,
yep, that was a good movie. The Basketball Diaries with Leonardo DiCaprio on heroin.
We need a tragic drugs movie. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Forget Paris with Billy Crystal as an NBA ref, talking to like Sean Bradley. Space Jam, which is in a different level.
Can we agree the first Space Jam was far better than that second one?
I still have not gotten through the second Space Jam. I quit. I tapped out about 35 minutes in.
I got through it. It was a train wreck from the beginning.
Eddie, Whoopi Goldberg, has Knicks coach.
Which got a lot of plug before they hired Mike Brown because everybody kind of thought that maybe this might be a time where we look at a female coach.
They asked Dawn. Dawn's like, nah, I'm good.
Dawn saw this movie and was like, nah, I'm good.
Dawn was like, I'm good. Celtic Pride.
It was a good movie, though.
It was a good movie.
It was a good movie.
Sunset Park with Rhea Perlman.
Interesting.
That was my shit. The Legend of Earl the Goat, Man and Goat, Rebound, starring Don Cheadle, a young Don Cheadle. The Sixth Man with Kadeem Hardison and Marlon Wayans again.
Okay, that was good.
My Giant with future legend George Marison, also Billy Crystal. And then obviously He Got Game. He Got Game was in '98.
That's to me is the GOAT. He Got Game is definitely the GOAT.
He Got Game is up there. So I say all this to say to you, Mr. Cordner, why can't we have nice things anymore? Why can't we do these movies anymore? What's the problem?
I think the problem is it's the people at the top. They just are not creative enough. The fact that I would, if I was running a studio right now, I would definitely jump on the WNBA bandwagon. I would come up with not saying a white man can't jump, but I would come up with a way to like show that, hey, these women can ball and they could probably out hustle some of these men on the court. Like, could you imagine Caitlin and Angel Reese playing 2-on-2 against some guys in the park, and the guys think it's an easy win and they just bust their ass? Why we can't do something like that?
Wait, I got to cut you off. Bruce, bullshit. Nope. He Got Game was all right. All right. Space Jam is the GOAT. He Got Game. Okay. What? He also said Six Man was corny. Set the Pride was trash. Eddie was a D movie. Above the Rim is overrated.
Wow.
Blue Chips What do we? What?
We're gonna need him on. We're gonna need to crash his show and defend, and he has to explain himself because He Got Game. He Got Game was amazing. Space Jam was great.
Hustle
He Got Game was amazing.
Okay, he's talking about Hustle. We're talking 90s movies, dude.
Oh, Hustle was good. Hustle was good,
but we're talking about Hustle's good. I really like Hustle. But when you compare it to Above the Rim, when you compare it to Blue Chips, I feel like those are like culture movies.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Those are culture movies. I feel like Sunset Park, even though it was kind of like under the radar, that felt like a culture movie. Right? I felt like Above the Rim had something to it. I was crumbling my paper up. Gotta uncrumple it. I got so damn upset. I crumpled my damn paper up. Hoop Dreams. Right?
Dreams is good. Mm-hmm.
Before documentaries was a big thing, you had a documentary following 2 high school players for 4 years and showing the good and the bad. Now we have that all over the place. That's a 30 for 30, tonight. Back then, to have that and have that kind of long form idea of like, oh shit, this happens. Basketball Diaries with DiCaprio showing that, white kid playing basketball got hooked on heroin. I don't know. I still trying to figure out the connection of how I got there. White man can't jump. You
At
can't
the time,
say nothing bad
oh
about
my
that.
goodness.
You can't say nothing bad about White Man Can't Jump. I'm daring Bruce to say something bad about White Man Can't Jump right now. That's what I'm doing right now. Selective Pride was campy and corny, but it was whatever it was. But I feel like can we remake Above the Rim? I think that's my question to you. Can we pull off a remake of Above the Rim?
I would say yes, and I'll go even further. I would find a way. We can make a remake of Above the Rim, and we can make a remake of Blue Chips, and we also could tell the story of the Fab Five. I'm surprised they have not even attempted that.
I think it was a Weber thing, probably. I think Weber was no part of that shit again.
Probably.
I know him and Jalen are cool now, but that was White Man Can't Jump is forgettable.
Hey, who doesn't want to play on Jeopardy?
the whole idea of White Man Can't Jump is like nerdy. First of all, it's the guy from Cheers, which I'm like, a black movie? Wesley Snipes. I'm like, that was weird to begin with.
And that's when Wesley was like his trajectory was going up.
Yeah, Wesley was still not. I think Wesley was still like Willie Mays Hayes at that point. He was like Passenger 57. What's he at? So I was thinking for Above the Rim, for the Leon role, the dude from Jason's Lyric, Alan Payne.
He was a good baller.
I think him has the troubled ex-star who came back home. Mm-hmm. I don't know who could play the young guy because you need an actor unless you want to go the young player route. You would need an actor to do that. But is this a matter of back in the day? I think those film companies were probably aiming for the urban market and said, let's greenlight those movies and get them out. And now they're like, nah, we're good. Let's just not touch that anymore.
I think it's I definitely think it's the latter. I think they just don't know how to touch it. And you just made me think about Hustle. I didn't really watch What You Call It yet. I heard it's a good show. Kevin Durant's on. First of all, they use all these networks. That's a whole nother conversation. But he has one on Apple TV, Swagger. I heard it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't checked that out yet, but I think now instead of movies, they want to go more to the streaming television angle. So you'll probably see some more to those per se. Like I think the remake of White Man Can't Jump went straight to Hulu. So yeah, I think that's the route we're looking at now.
I think actually it wasn't even Hulu. I think it was Prime, which makes it even worse.
There you go.
Makes it even worse. Bruce is asking, why would I leave my woman for a pickup game? I left my wife for way less than a pickup game of basketball.
Hey,
I'm just saying. Sometimes you do what you have to do to get that money. You gotta get that money. You gotta figure the shit out. But yeah, I'm one day maybe I'll get some money and remake Sunset Park with insert older white woman here. Come back to Brooklyn or something like that.
Why not? Why not?
Let's put some money out. All right. So SummerSlam 2 days. You did the Ringer.
I did a Ringer live. Yeah, with Bret Hart. That was great. That was good. Good to see Bret cut loose a little bit.
So, how bitter was Bret Hart?
I mean, he wasn't bitter I mean, he was he keeps it real. I like that.
I know. I read. He said, "Rest in peace, Hulk Hogan," and then just buried him after.
I mean, the man didn't put nobody over. I mean,
That's what I'm reading. I'm like, rest in peace, Hulk Hogan. He was a real piece of shit, though. Like, Jesus Christ, man. The man just died.
Hey. Somebody's got to say it.
I think we've all been saying it, honestly. I think everyone's just like, we know what it is. And then at MetLife, I think they had the Hogan graphic on the screen. Yeah. And somebody recorded the reaction and just boos all around MetLife.
That's what I heard. That's why they didn't do it the second night.
They did do the second night.
Oh, they did.
They did it again. That and the Trump. No, wait. Oh no, sorry. They did the Trump thing back to back. They didn't do Hogan.
Yeah.
They did the Trump thing both nights with him and presidential fitness shit.
Mm-hmm.
Boo too. I'm like, they don't know. They really got to get their shit together and know their audience at this point. What were your thoughts on both nights and the return of Brock Lesnar? Because I didn't see it coming. I was like, oh,
I was surprised. I was surprised both nights in terms of I kind of figured Seth was a work the whole time, but the way he portrayed it. Shout out to I think Rich Eisner and a couple other guys in other sports league. I think Bill Simmons too. They thought it was legit the way he was carrying himself. So it's good to see that kind of that paid off. But Brock, there's no way I thought Brock was coming back. But then when Danny Cormier mentioned him, that should have been a red herring. That should have been like, why would he just randomly say he's in trouble and he's banned? Why would he randomly spill that out?
Well, how bad could I don't say how bad this could be because there's already people like you brought him back. He's included in the McMahon shit, and you brought him back in the middle of the stuff.
You know, it was also a smart move on their part when they didn't have. Normally they have these little press conferences and stuff like that. So when they had it outside randomly on Saturday, you didn't think nothing of it. But now when you brought Brock back, made perfect sense. You didn't want to answer. You didn't want to have to answer those questions. And even the layup questions they gave on ESPN the last couple of days to promote the move to ESPN, no one mentioned Brock in terms of like what had happened, why he was gone.
So John, what's going on, John? It was a surprise to everybody. So I thought Cody was turning heel. That was the whole weekend. I'm like, Cody's gonna turn heel. He's gonna lose his shit. Blah 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 blah. I'm just curious long term how this goes because according to Paul Heyman with Ariel Helwani, he's not being canceled. The crowd reacted great. I'm like, yeah, that was that crowd. That was at 50,000 people, not 60, like they said.
Right.
Let's see what happens going forward because Grant's people already said you brought him back. He's involved in this shit. It's gonna get worse. So I'm just curious to see where it goes from here. If they go back to regret, and honestly, I don't think they give a shit. TKO does.
TKO, I don't think they give a shit, but I also don't think Brock is staying long term either. I think this is just to help partake in the Cena farewell tour, and he's going after maybe, not say Paris, maybe October. He's gone anyway.
Rumor saying legal cleared him, believing he will be innocent. I mean, based on the lawsuit, I don't know. Because
I don't know. I kind of believe. I don't know. That lawsuit was kind of graphic.
Yeah. Damn.
Suplex City.
Are you a fan of the 2-day SummerSlam? Because I feel like WrestleMania 2 days is special. I feel like this is them just trying to get.
It's a money grab. It's a money grab.
Yeah.
And not even that. Like I was talking to somebody. They're talking about Royal Rumble. And they're talking about SummerSlam, Survivor Series. Mm-hmm. Survivor Series, I don't know how it would only work if you're bringing back traditional matches. Plus, you can have war games. Royal Rumble, it'll be so corny if you're going to split the men's and women's to one day each. That's
what they do. They would do that. They would do women on Saturday, men on Sunday.
That's going to be corny. Because the Royal Rumble's not that event that you could, it doesn't make sense to have more than those two matches anyway.
Well, and the problem becomes now too, even if you win the Rumble, you're not really main eventing Mania.
That's been a sticking point for a while, though.
So you're not actually. I know they say, main event Jey Uso's main eventing. You're main eventing Saturday, not Sunday.
Well, not even Saturday. Man. He was first match up on Saturday.
Yeah, your first match. Main event is you're the last match of the show. Last match on Sunday. To me, that's the main event. The Saturday main event is like the appetizer. Like Cody Cena was the main event of SummerSlam, not Punk Gunther. That was Saturday.
Both matches were very good, by the way.
Yeah, I was amped about Punk Gunther. It kind of picked up towards the end. I was waiting. The first 15 minutes of Cena Rhodes, I'm like, this might be the most technically sound street fight I've ever watched in my life. I'm like. This is like watching. This is like watching a submission match. This is a submission match, essentially. I'm like, are they gonna get some shit out? And then I'm like, oh, Slim Jim table. There we go. All right, let's get to work.
And there goes the problem with TKO right there. Everything has to be branded. Slim Jim table. Like, yeah, we're definitely getting 2 nights of everything going forward. It's like, do we need 2 nights of Money in the Bank? Really?
No, we don't. We don't need Money in the Bank. We don't need Money in the Bank at all, let alone 2 nights of it. I'm good with that being on a WrestleMania card, not a whole pay-per-view for it. So I watched the lead up to it. I did not watch Raw. I saw the Becky Lynch promo, which I was like, oh shit. I'm still not. WWE to me is nothing really like grabbing me completely.
Right.
The Cena heel turn is a waste of time completely. Just a waste.
But I like how he sold it. Like, hey, he presented it well on Friday night.
I guess. AEW on the other hand, I'm kind of liking what I'm seeing. I'm kind of like, even though the MVP shit I think is overblown, I really do think it's not. I think everyone's making a big deal. Oh, MVP and Hurt Syndicate. I don't think it's a big deal at all. I think people are making a bigger deal of MVP and that shit than anything else. But we'll see about that. All right, Jay, good show, bruh.
Likewise.
All right, so Bruce could not do a show yesterday. He had a work issue, so he'll be back next Wednesday night, 8 p.m. here on One Podcast Network. We will be back next Thursday, our normal slot. Hopefully, we'll see, because our lives have been busy. We got a lot of shit happening. So right now, next Thursday, 8 p.m. Once again, the Resistance, we're coming. We're doing this. Fuck it. We'll do it. Fuck it. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Resistance. Liberal podcasting. Let's go. Starting September, we're going to do it. I'm working on a couple guests. I'm trying to have guests in every week. So we're going to do it. See what happens. Hopefully I don't get fired or, sued. That's the hope here. But that's the plan right now for the One Podcast Network. Moody Irish Guy. Live Free, Laugh Hard. That's coming back also September. We're doing the next episode on Jim Norton, who is a comedian. He used to work on Opie and Anthony. We'll explain that too when we get there. So a lot happening here. Me, Jason, Tom, we all own this shit. So we're just trying to make some money on this, and hopefully you guys like what we do. If so,
there you go.
Like, subscribe, hit us up, let us know. If you don't like it, fuck you. For Jason Gordon, I'm Kahlil Thomas. We'll see you next week. Peace.
This has been The Box Out with Kahlil Thomas and Jason Cordner. Subscribe now for the best tri-state area basketball talk.